Senator Rose, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Would you have the Sergeant at Arms read Senate Joint Resolution 1425, please?
I'll have the clerk. Mr. Clerk. And Senator Rose, why don't you and the Memphis delegation come up here? Mr. Clerk.
Senate Joint Resolution 1425 by Mr. Speaker McNally, a resolution to commend Brian Kelsey for his honorable and astute service to the people of Tennessee. Whereas it is fitting that the members of this General Assembly should recognize those fellow legislators who have performed their elected duties with unprecedented devotion and whose efforts to excel have brought substantial benefits to their respective communities and this great state. And whereas one such official as Brian Kelsey, who has faithfully and honorably served the good people of the 31st Senate District during the 106th, 107th, 108th, 109th, 110th, 111th, and 112th General Assemblies, and the constituents of the 83rd House District during the 104th, 105th, and part of the 106th General Assemblies. And whereas Brian Kelsey has distinguished himself as a public-spirited citizen of the highest order, as an exceptional asset to the good people of Shelby County, who evidence their firm confidence in Senator Kelsey's abilities as a legislator. And whereas Senator Kelsey is the only legislator in Tennessee history to sponsor 2 successful amendments to the state constitution, one forever prohibiting a state income tax and the other providing for a gubernatorial appointment of appellate judges. And whereas he also sponsored the Governor's Comprehensive Tort Reform Act of 2011 and legislation to prohibit Medicaid expansion in Tennessee in 2014, in 2019, his conference committee report instituting the Educational Savings Account program was signed into law by Governor Bill Lee, and in 2020 he sponsored an amendment to add the Tennessee Right to Work law to the state constitution. And whereas a 7th generation Shelby County resident and the son of Bob and Kay Kelsey, Brian Kelsey received his Bachelor of Arts degree with honors from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, his Juris Doctorate degree from Georgetown University in Washington, D.C., where he served as president of the Federalist Society and intern in the White House counsel's office under President George W. Bush. And whereas outside of his work in the legislature, Senator Kelsey is senior attorney at the Liberty Justice Center, where he litigates constitutional law cases advocating for the rights of worker freedom, free speech, and school choice throughout the country, and he expresses his Christian faith as a member of Harvest Church. And whereas no stranger to honors and accolades, Senator Kelsey was named Legislator of the Year by the Memphis Area Association of Governments in 2018, Supermajority Operative of the Year by the Knoxville News Sentinel in 2013, Outstanding State Senator by the County Officials Association of Tennessee in 2013, and Legislator of the Year by the Memphis Area Association of Governments in 2011. And whereas Brian Kelsey received the Conservative Elections Award from the Americans Conservative Union in 2015 and 2017, Guardian of Small Business Award from the National Federation of Independent Businesses in 2012, the Pro Bono Service Award from the Memphis Area Legal Services in 2008. He is honored as one of Memphis's finest young professionals by the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, one of Tennessee Business Magazine's 30 Under 30 in 2005, and one of Memphis Business Journal's Top 40 Under 40 in 2004. And whereas his many accomplishments aside, Brian Kelsey is most grateful for the love and support of his wife, Amanda, and he is the proud father of Reagan Marie. And whereas throughout his outstanding career as a public service, Brian Kelsey has worked tirelessly on behalf of his constituents, bringing to his office an honorable bearing and the traditional values of hard work and common sense. And whereas Senator Brian Kelsey is wholly committed to the noble precepts of public service that have earned Tennessee recognition as a volunteer state, and he should be recognized for his exemplary tenure in this body. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Senate of the 112th General Assembly of the State of Tennessee, that House of Representatives concurring, that we hereby honor Senator Brian Kelsey for his service to Tennessee as a member of the General Assembly, commend him on his countless contributions and many good works in service to his constituents, and extend to him our best wishes for much success and happiness in all his future endeavors.
Thank you very much, Brian, for what you've done for the legislature and for what you've done for the state of Tennessee. You've served with distinction, and you've always been a friend to just about everybody in here. And I really do appreciate you, and we're going to miss you. If you'd like to come up here with Amanda and preside for a while, or if you'd like to go ahead and say something, we'd be happy to.
Sure.
Okay, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We've taught Reagan very well. The first thing she did when she came up here was grab the microphone, and as soon as she realized that it wasn't on, she said, "I'm out of here." But, Mr. Speaker, serving here in the State Senate of Tennessee has been the greatest honor of my life. I'm a seventh-generation Tennessean, and nothing makes me more proud than when I go to a national conference and I hear that Tennessee is in the best financial shape of any state in the Union. And that is largely, Mr. Speaker, due to your leadership. And we very much appreciate
Thank you.
the direction that you have steered this state in for many years. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
But it's also due to leadership in a bipartisan fashion over many years. In fact, you know, I'm very proud that in Tennessee, we like to say we don't like debt and we don't spend money that we don't have. And that's happened for many, many years. And so I was very proud to play just one small part of that in passing our constitutional amendment to ensure that we don't have an income tax here in this state. You know, our efforts over the years, since especially in the last 10 or 15 years, since we've had a change in leadership here, have really brought countless jobs to the state of Tennessee and have brought countless people to the state of Tennessee. We're really thriving right now as a state, and it's something that I think that this body should really take credit for and be proud of. For me personally, the one area in which I feel like we've always lagged behind has been education. And that's why education has always been so passionate to me. My mom was a teacher for 30 years. My wife was a teacher. And I think I think these issues of teaching our next generation are really the most important issues that we deal with here in this body. And certainly am thrilled to have spent many, many years laboring in the fields of school choice to try to bring more and more opportunities to our children in Tennessee, and especially those children who are in impoverished situations throughout our state. I want to thank, Mr. Speaker, all of you for being great colleagues, great friends, great to work with. Even you and Senator Bell even braved a snowstorm to come to our wedding. It helps when you have a driver, I guess. We appreciate that. Senator Stevens sat through countless judiciary meetings over the years and hearing me drone on about the number of bills that we had to deal with there. But also our staff has been quite wonderful. Colleen and Jennifer, thank you so much for all that you have done to make our service to the people of Cordova, East Memphis, and Germantown successful. And I'm very proud to have hired many staff straight out of school, a couple of whom are now senior policy staff working for the governor. And so that's great to see as well. But I'm most excited about really, for the first time in my life, having one job and one job only. Yeah, it was... Actually, I started running for the legislature 5 months after I started my first job out of law school. And so I've only known 2 jobs for my whole career. And I think probably my wife is more excited about the one job and one job only than anyone. But that will be nice. And I certainly am very blessed to be able to practice constitutional law and to be able to do it from right here in the state of Tennessee. I look forward to perhaps coming back up here, maybe just if there are particular bills that I'm passionate about, I'd love to come and talk to you guys about it, and hope that I get the chance to do that, to keep in touch that way, and I hope that you will keep in touch as well. But most of all, I want to talk about the blessing of my wonderful wife, Amanda, and our wonderful daughter, Reagan, and our 2 other little ones who are on the way. We have twins. Senator Ackberry is going to have to tell us all about what it's like to be a twin, and we appreciate that. And again, we're so excited for this, and I just can't tell you how much I thank all of you for your friendship, and again, Mr. Speaker, you for your leadership.
Senator Crow, and then Senator Rose.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Brian, we're going to miss you. You've made a tremendous impact on this state and our nation, and you continue to do so with the work that you're doing. But I'll just say this and then sit down. Once a senator, always a senator.
Senator Rose.
Thank you. Brian, I can't tell you how much I personally appreciate you and your advocacy for the state of Tennessee and for the citizens of your district, and for coming alongside me and helping me in my Senate career and the encouragement you've given to me. I would say this, I've rarely heard you misspeak, but I think Amanda may be most proud that you said you only had one job, but you actually got, it's been multiplied, as I understand you just shared with us, so she's really glad to have you come home. Bill Powers might tell you the importance of being at home at night for certain duties. But Brian, we want to present you with this framed resolution. We just want to say how much we appreciate you, and I think they want to take some pictures out here. So.
Thank you, Senator Rose, Senator Hackberry, Senator Lamar. Thank you. Brian, if you'd like to preside, you can bring your wife and family up here, and we'll let you. Senator Bell and Senator Swan. Oh, Senator Bell and Senator Swan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, before Senator Kelsey gets away, I want to say a few words as well. About, I don't know, looking around the room, maybe half a dozen of us or more, but 6 or 8 of us served in the House prior to coming to the Senate. And of course, that's where Brian and I first got to know each other. It was a different world back then. And when we came into the House, when I came in the House and Brian was already there, we were in a minority, and forgive the informality, but this is a time for informality, Brian. We were in a position of having to fight and war all the time. And I can tell you, Senator Kelsey was a warrior. He was a warrior for the positions that he believed in. He still is a warrior for the positions he believed in. I still think of you that way, Brian, and I so appreciate your service to the state of Tennessee and your service to the principles that you believe in. Another thing that you don't forget about people. You don't forget not only their friendship, but their loyalty. Senator Kelsey, again, it was in a different time back in 2005, 2006. He was one of only 2 House members who stuck their neck out and supported me running against a 16-year incumbent. And I don't forget that type of loyalty, and I don't forget that type of friendship. And you will always have a special place in my heart, Brian. Thank you.
Senator Swan.
Brian, I had hoped that my voting trends would rub off on you with you sitting next to me, but you're hopeless. But I'll allow you to leave. Thank you very much. You've done a great job. Great to know you, and good luck to you.
Thank you. Senator Massey.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, while you're doing this. It has been an honor to work with you. You were one of the first people to call me up when I started running and gave me encouragement. You, I believe, ran in a special election yourself for the Senate, so you were right in front of me as far as joining the Senate. And you encouraged me, but after I finished my first year in the old closet that Ed followed me in, you and I, we were right across the hall from each other, and we worked together on many issues and just been good friends since you've been here. And I appreciate we went over to a reception. I flew over to a reception in Memphis one time and made it back safely, which is always good. But just appreciate your dedication and your passion for the issues that you work on, and most importantly, your friendship. Thank you.
Senator Stevens.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I rise just to thank Brian for his years of friendship and early support. We met actually when I was still in law school, and I don't even think you may have just gotten into law school. It would have been like 2001 or 2, something like that. My wife was working for a family member of Brian, owns a shop in Collierville, and the family member's family were like our grandparents. And so when he talks about his 7 generations of Tennesseans, they were the Kelsey, the family member's name was Kelsey and Tom Brooks, but they turned into basically our grandparents away from home and took care of us. But that's the way they were raised, and that's the way the family is. They take care of people, they watch out for people, and he's had a distinguished career doing exactly that. And I wish you best of luck in your continued endeavors, fighting for the issues that are passionate to you in our Constitution and preserving freedom and liberty for not just Tennesseans, but all Americans.
Thank you, Senator Stevens. Mr. Clerk? I'm sorry, Senator Bell.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, there was one other thing I forgot to mention when I stood up. Some of you may not realize that Senator Kelsey once came to East Tennessee with me and went catfish noodling. And I may even have a picture of that catfish noodling experience that I'm keeping for future reference, depending on what happens with Senator Kelsey in the future. But I do have that picture, so you need to remember that as you think about me. I've got that picture in my phone. In fact, I was hoping that picture might make an appearance on the screen, because the clerk may have that picture now, but it may not make an appearance on the screen. Maybe it will before the session's over.
Thank you, Chairman Bell. Mr. Clerk, next order.
Mr. Speaker, no introduction of bills. There are no House bills on first consideration, no Senate bills on second consideration. Introduction of resolutions.
Leader Johnson, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, proper notice having been given, I move that pursuant to Senate Rule 21, Senate Joint Resolution 1646 through 1654 be introduced, passed on first consideration, held on the clerk's desk.
Without objection, the resolutions are introduced, passed first consideration, and are held on the clerk's desk. And without objection, the motion to reconsider is hereby tabled. Mr. Clerk.
Resolutions lying over.
Senator Johnson, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Proper notice having been given, I move that pursuant to Senate Rule 21, Senate Joint Resolution 1604 through 1645, and Senate Resolutions 175 through 177 lie over, be referred to the appropriate standing committee designated or held on the clerk's desk.
Having laid over, the resolutions are referred to the appropriate standing committee designated or held on the clerk's desk. And Reagan, would you like to bang the gavel for us? All right. And without objection, the motion to reconsider goes to the table. Mr. Clerk.
Unfinished business and notices.
Yes. Senator Pody.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You wouldn't be officially a speaker if I could tell you something. Mr. Speaker, I have a guest today.